Joining me now is Adrian, my long-time doubles partner. I think we're currently completely undefeated in doubles.
That's true, yep.
And we've faced some real dick lists over the time, haven't we?
Yeah, actually have.
Yeah, like Spence and his triple knights and triple Volteracs in the same list. That was fantastic.
Yep.
But yeah, no. So we're here today to talk about Adrian's Iron Warriors, one of many, many armies you have.
Yep.
Like me, you are prolific.
Yep.
We get around.
Yes.
The only downside of us getting around is we never paint to our force because we're too busy trying to smash it out.
That is correct.
So, this army, how did this all begin, this journey?
So whenever Storm of Iron came out, was written by Graham McNeil, so it was obviously a few years ago now. As soon as I read that book, I'm like, I need to do this army. So originally it did start as a 40k army back in the day. I think the only models from this force you see in front of you that's 40k is the two Vindicators. Everything else is Fresh Heresy. So yeah, that was the main input. So fell in love with them straight away. Just their methodical, way to do warfare. They have no fucks to give. So yeah, I fell in love with them instantly, so had to do it.
So, being Iron Warriors,
Yep.
first thing everyone knows about Iron Warriors is the hazard wobbles.
It has a wobbles, yeah.
So, can you please explain to people what the hazard wobbles are?
So hazard wobbles are an attempt at hazard stripes that may not be very straight. Let's just say that.
It's all in the name.
Yes.
Guys, if you're painting, it is so easy to get tape, and even if you're painting by hand, the tape at least gives you a guideline to paint against.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favour, don't ruin your models, take the time, paint your hazard stripes with some tape.
Yeah.
Or if you have a really straight hand, that's fine,
Yeah.
but I think most people don't, and especially if you're new to this, don't gimp yourself. Like, the tools are there, use them.
I think the one thing with Iron Warriors that people see, they jump on board because it's like, oh, it's an easy armor because it's just silver and like dirt.
No.
It's not. You can actually put time into them, and it's rewarding to do so. Like, all my vehicles have been taped, and they're pretty clean, as you can see. Infantry, they've got hazard stripes on them on the infantry. That's all done by hand.
It's you've got to have those various shades of metallics, I find.
Yes.
If you just go for a flat metallic, it's exactly that. It's flat, just like any paint. I mean, Ultramarines army in flat blue is going to look terrible. So will an army in flat silver. So you've got to actually vary up the tones. You see here in like your Sikaran, for example, you've got some lovely burnished colours. It's not just silver. We're talking browns, golds, bronzes, all
Glazes
in
and
there.
shaders and powders and things like that to help. Sorry. So yeah.
Yep, as well as like the occasional edge highlight, just to pick out something, that's great stuff. So, with your HQs down here, you've got your primary Warsmith here.
There's him. Yep.
And
of course.
he is another one of the limited edition sort of tribunes.
Yeah, Predator Tribune that came out with G-Dub when they did a release in store for a while. So, picked him up, did a few conversions, and there he is.
And he's got the servo harness on the back, as a good Warsmith does, as well as the, I think the weaponry is from the 40k Tech Priest?
Yes, Tech Priest Dominus. There's a few bits and pieces in there. The engine's here, he's got parts from that as well. So yeah, he's there.
We've also got the old 40k Tech Marine.
It's my original Tech Marine, my very first Warsmith model that I painted up. So that's him. He's seen a bit of wear and tear, but it's because he's about 7-8 years old, so...
I don't know if you're like me, but I find you start an army, you paint the first couple of units to a certain level, then you get a bit better. You paint the next units to another level.
Yeah.
By the time you get to, 3 years down the line with that same army, it starts to become a bit miserable because you're going back looking at those first units going, something has to be done here.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, Tyrants.
Yes.
Only one squad of Tyrants.
Only one squad of Tyrants.
Why only the one squad?
I don't think you need any more.
That's the perfect answer.
So, they've served me very, very well pretty much always. I only have them in my list since they had models. I never ran them before that.
Yep.
I saw people doing some pretty ridiculous stuff when they were... they could be taken as like primary Pride of the Legion.
Oh yeah, I did some ridiculous stuff with
so
them.
I never ran that. I was mostly into the armoured side of things, but as soon as I got models, I had to do it, and I got 10, and I made 5 of them into like a pseudo command squad. So you've got a Forge Lord kind of guy in there, an Apothecary, a Herald. So pieces of them are in there. So yeah,
that's great. If you pick up things like Feel No Pain, or in some of these campaigns you can get,
I've got enough to see them on here.
It's great. You can sort of visualise what's happening with the squad.
So After seams on this dude, so I run him a lot of the time. So there we go. Yeah, so enough to seam on his arm. So yeah,
Cool stuff. Iron Circle.
yep.
One of my favourite models for Zone Mortalis because they are just brutal in
They
that.
trigger people pretty good.
I think it's important to point out though, regular games of 30k, I think they're a bit middling. How have you found them?
I use them in Centurion when there's a lot of massive guns, so just can just drop them. In Age of Darkness, they die pretty quick. So I use them in Centurion and Zone Mortalis where I can. Yeah, they serve their purpose.
Do you find them any good against, say, Dreadnoughts in Centurion?
Yes, actually I do. So I found them pretty handy. They don't go before Dreadnoughts, but they've got a pretty good invul. With 4 Winter Peace, they can be pretty good, and they will destroy a Dreadnought. So
Minus maybe a Leviathan with core.
yeah, there's obviously some creds out there.
This Leviathan as well. He has a bit of an interesting history from like games we've played together.
Yeah.
He single-handedly won us a few games of
Yes,
those
he
doubles.
has. Hammer of Wrath Knights to death. a
How
lot
many
of the time.
knights has this Dreadnought killed now?
Oh, dude. At least.
There was like 8 at the last event.
Yeah, at least he's probably in his history, he's probably taken at least 30 knights down.
And, it goes to show, I say it's better to have a Dreadnought with a Siege Wrecker and a core, because it's just so expensive to run, like the Gravflux Bombard. But somehow, having just the one core,
Yeah, he does the job.
he's hammered of Wrath a knight to death once.
Twice now. So he does his job.
You can't always rely on the Math Hammer.
No.
So, breaches as well. Breaches are not a common one in the Iron Warriors, which I find surprising.
Yeah.
It's because their Legion rules, I don't think, add to them.
The Legion rules don't, but the Brotherhood of Olympia I feel does, because they can rapid fire an assault out of a Land Raider. And I've used that a fair bit, and it does shock people, but I'm doing that. And that's worked pretty well for me as well, so yeah.
It is an expensive unit though, points-wise.
With
And
the
I
Land
think,
Raider transport as well, yes.
I think the downside of Iron Warriors is you're trying to fit in all those extra heavy supports. A lot of people take the 4th heavy support Rite of War.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, and of course, you're spending so many points on like Vindicators and Predators, and I mean Predators are great to see.
Yeah.
Why Predators actually?
Well, they are cheap, and surprisingly they get through infantry. We put 4 heavy bolters and 2 autocannons into an infantry squad, and it's probably going to not have a good time. And I also ran it when I was doing the Armoured Breakthrough detachment. I don't know what it's called. Normally you get tanks and their troops, so it's good for that as well.
I guess it synergizes well with like the Sikaran.
Yes, yeah.
Just the sheer amount of strength 5, AP4 and upwards.
Yes.
Mechanicum, Soul Auxilium, Militia, all really
Even
vulnerable
people
to
that
that.
have heaps of rhinos, they drop them.
Hull pointers.
Yeah, they just glance them to death.
And of course, traditional Land Raiders, again, not hugely common to see Land Raiders around. Most people are going straight to the Spartan.
Yeah.
Or maybe a Flyer.
Yeah. Sure.
So Land Raider, why?
Because it's iconic, man. Nothing says, 40k/30k for Space Marines like a Land Raider. It's been there since the beginning almost, So,
Very true.
Yeah.
The OG tank.
Yeah.
Speaking of the OG tank, we have the OG Super Heavy for Heresy at the back here.
Yep.
The Typhon.
had to get that. It will fall apart, yeah.
It's okay.
That was the first, I think, big unit that I wanted to get. As soon as I found the fluff that Pertarabi designed it, I'm like, I need that in my life. I haven't run it. I don't run it much anymore because obviously it did get a big points increase. But it's still a fun thing to have.
Strangely so, how something with a 7-inch strength 10 AP1 ignores cover blasts does do a slight dent to many armies, right?
But it is a big bullet magnet now because people know it does. So it doesn't survive a lot, but it does a job.
Plus, you can do fun things with it, like thunder blitzing with crushing weight.
Yeah, crushing weight's good.
It's really good at ramming things. Like even though they're the same size, it will absolutely ass fuck a Spartan if it hits it.
Absolutely.
So that's fun. Also, you've put a lot of banners through the army. I love seeing like banners and iconography around. What was the personal choice in that?
Just cause, man. I love banners. I love heraldry. So, Iron Warriors most of the time don't even require a banner because of the no penalty for getting shot. They don't take morale from that. But I like banners, man. So I think I've got 3 in the army now. So
And you use them as Vexilia as well.
yeah, I can use them Vex if I want. So I think the veterans have one. The one tax squad has one. And then the Tyrants have got one, but Tyrants are just there for show.
Yeah, well, Tyrants, well, they're a target priority, but because they're such long range, they usually sort of escape a lot of the fire.
They do. So
You also, another bizarre choice, in a good way, heavy flamers.
So a couple of years ago, we were doing a Zomatalis kind of campaign, and they're good. They do the job.
Yep, heavy flamers, underutilized, but in Zone Mortalis, heavy flamers breaches the normal sort of units you wouldn't expect to perform in a standard game, all come into their own.
Yeah, exactly right. With the heavy support sorts that Iron Warriors get, just good down. They're cheap as well.
Yep.
You can swap out a heavy bolter for a heavy flame for free, so why not?
Yep. And yeah, it's just beautiful. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk through your army, and we'll play doubles again soon.
Hopefully
keep this winning streak up.
Let's do it.